just retested 78% of Americans feel that stress inhibits their mental health. Well, it does because, right, when we shift to stress, that shuts off that frontal cortex. That's our attention, intention, imagination, creation. So if we're running off the same neural patterns as the past, what are we going to get? More of the past. Can we predict the future? If you do the same things, 100% absolutely. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here. Welcome to Raise Your Vibration. I'm pumped tonight. I think I'm pumped every night, but that's okay. Pumped tonight. It's been a great day. Been a lot going on today, but just took like a 5-minute cold shower, so I'm right back in it. But no, thanks for being here tonight, everybody. Looks like got one or two visitors. Welcome. Jake, welcome. Yeah, we'll jump into it tonight. Excited tonight. We're going to go over care versus overcare, the difference, and how to save our energy, how to stop that worry, stop that concern into areas that, you know, we all go into quite often, but how do we stay in the present moment? How do we keep our energy expanded? How do we stay, you know, in that heart-brain coherent state? So when the day progresses and questions come up, can we, you know, have that intuitive guidance into the right decisions, the right choices, the right effective, you know, solutions, so we can best create in our day, best create the best versions of ourselves, and so on and so forth. But really quick, from last week, did anyone print out the gratitude journal and journal every day? And if you did, is anyone willing to share what changes you noticed if you did that in the morning?
Anyone brave enough or willing?
Or
I forgot to print it out, but I do journal every day. Based on what's Brad's therapist? His name left me.
Craig.
Yes, Craig. Thank you. Okay, so every day I write 3 gratitudes, 3 victories, and 3 power statements. Is y'all's journal like that, or something different? And I can go on the website and print it out if something's different.
Yeah, a little different. But the idea is, you know, we want to spend that 16 to 18 minutes every morning, you know, 10 minutes meditation, 2 minutes grounding, feet on the grass, and then, you know, about 5 minutes writing down, you know, things we're grateful for, things we want to accomplish, things we want to focus on that day. And really the difference with ours is we set the intention, right? What's the intention for today, right? And that intention can change every day. If today mine is gratitude, great. Let's set 4 alarms, 9, 12, 6, 3, and 6. I almost said 6 and 3. 9, 12, 3, and 6, and put those reminders in our iPhone or Android, that when those reminders pop up and say gratitude, we take 2 minutes, we do our heart focused breathing, and we, you know, shift our focus and pay attention to gratitude. What can I look for in internally or externally in my environment that can incite some gratitude in me? If tomorrow's love, great. If tomorrow's appreciation, great. If tomorrow's care, great. You know, whichever it is. The main difference is we don't just want to write gratitudes. What we want to do is we want to set that intention and say, okay, gratitude's an extremely powerful force, but this is my intention for the day. How am I going to use this most effectively when I'm interacting with family, when I'm interacting with coworkers, when I'm interacting with people at the gas station or the store? How can I best be a beacon of gratitude for myself and those around me, right? But if you do it every day, fantastic. But yeah, I would suggest ours goes a little deeper, like we did through Next Level. It's in the membership site. Go in and print it off and see if you know, notice the difference, like the difference. Anyone else want to share? Yeah, thanks, Jenna. Great to see you. Anyone else want to share any if they wrote down the gratitudes this week, any insights?
Brinley can't because she was at Disney World. So,
Oh, sorry, Brinley.
I barely survived. Disney World with kids is not fun, so don't be jealous. But I survived. I did a lot of breathing.
Good.
And I made it.
Good. Awesome.
glad you made it.
Well, yep. Good to have you back. Yeah. Anyway, it always goes into that space of silence, and Jake hates that space too. Of like, anyone want to share, and then it's like,
Wait.
But yeah, thanks for sharing, Jenna. But yeah, let's move on with the presentation today. It's going to be care versus overcare. I'll turn it over to my lovely wife, and we will
Start.
we will get that. We'll go into care versus overcare, and if it wants to do it, here we go. All right.
Okay, so we're going to try to help you preserve some energy this week as you kind of evaluate the difference between care and overcare. So we'll just get into the presentation. We'll kind of explain as we go. Next.
Yep.
Okay. Can't see it.
Yep. You can't see.
Okay. All right. So as we spiritually mature into our higher potentials, increased care comes with it. It only makes sense that as we increase our capacity, we increase our capacity to care. But caring more is the most valid way for love to be stepped down into practical applications. This would solve and prevent many problems that we unconsciously create and repeat. So overcare is when our initial feelings of care about something or someone turn into obsessive worry, anxiety, or projecting the worst. So this usually escalates into emotional depletion and the obvious stress load that follows. Our care is one of our highest assets, but when our care turns into overcare, it drains our energy and our health bears the consequences. And as you go on this week, like I said, you'll start to evaluate and go, gosh, no wonder why I went from I care, so why is it having such a negative consequence for me? Managing our care nurtures us and others, while overcare hinders our effectiveness with energy draining mind loops, even when our intentions are well-meaning. So below are some of the typical areas where overcare can overwhelm us at times, lowering our vibration while draining our energy. So work, relationships, money, diet, children, parents, health, past regrets, how we look, how we feel, future security, how we will come out, feeling lack, comparisons, and what people will think of us. When we go down this list, it's like, okay, caring about each one of these areas is important. It plays an important, they each play an important part in our lives. Of course, in our children and our parents and our work and our relationships. So where do we go from care and it renews us and it keeps us in that renewing emotional state? And where does it start to deplete us? So many issues on the list are often draining our energy at the same time, reducing our resilience and our capacity to feel good while compromising our health and vitality. Then we wonder why we don't feel like our full-blown self. A stealthy ingredient in overcare is its seductive power to justify itself while leaving us blindsided to our energy sapping consequences. We go from care to like resentment. With practice, we can cue up our intuition to alert us when overcare begins to invade our feelings and our perceptions. The practice of identifying and deleting overcare can save a pivotal amount of energy and health risk along the way. Eliminating, and this isn't important because this is an important thing to cover, we felt, because we want to care. That's what makes us human. That's what, makes us connect to others. But so it's like, okay, if I don't care, how do I show care? Eliminating overcare does not reduce our care. It strengthens the effectiveness of our care by bringing it into balance and coherent alignment with our heart. Anytime our outgoing energy is balanced, we are smarter on our feet. View overcare or unmanaged care as a thriving emotional virus hidden by society's unconscious agreement that overcare is not accountable. With our heart's intuitive guidance and commitment, we can free ourselves from the seductive stress that overcare and constant worry brings us. So what we want you guys to focus on, and Kevin's going to take it from here, but it kind of is like this line that we draw, and it's like we go from care, and then there's a line and we cross it into overcare. It's like we go from caring about others and making it about them to kind of making it about ourselves. It goes from spirit to ego, if you will, because then it's kind of self-serving. It's like, after all I've done for you, I care so much. Can't you see that? And it starts to become self-serving rather than an expression of care and compassion and understanding. So that's where we kind of want to start to pay attention, is that line. Where do I go from care to resentment or to anger or to frustration? And that is a line that, it might be, kind of moving at times. You might have more tolerance one day over another, or you might realize I'm doing more without going into so much resentment because that's my way to show care. Or maybe it's that I've gone into ego now, so I got to back it off because now I've made it about myself rather than really genuinely concerned about somebody else.
Right. And thanks, honey. One of the other words for overcare is worry or concern. And this is what prevents a lot of us from manifesting the things we want to manifest or cutting off the law of attraction. Because if I'm serving Altee and I'm serving, and I'm doing it from care, doing it from heart, but I have a ulterior expectation of how she should serve me back, that is going into overcare, right? That's having an expectant outcome. When we detach from that expectation and just serve with open heart and open mind, saying, hey, this is what I want to do because this is what I desire to do, we leave that energy field open, and that allows that law of attraction to come back to us, because whatever we put out is going to come back. We just thwart that sometimes by saying, well, no, it has to be right now, right? Looking for reciprocation in a certain manner, certain expectation. So as we now look at the distinguishing difference between care and overcare, the difference between balanced care and overcare can seem complicated. This is because when we're in overcare, we can tend to feel that's when we are caring the most, right? I'm showing more love. I'm showing more compassion. I want to do this for you. Many issues, though, however, we start to care about morph into worry. Excessive worry is a classic example of when overcare is fooling us into thinking that it's effective care. In our heart, most of us know that free to roam worry eventuates, into personal energy deficits and compromises our well-being. If we truly believe that excessive worry really helped us, we would encourage our friends and children to go into a corner and worry each time life's challenges come up, right? That's the opposite of the definition of resilience, right? We want to be able to adapt, prepare for, and overcome challenges when they come up. We don't want to just go into a corner and say, woe is me, holy cow, crap's hit the fan, what do I do? We want to be effective on our feet, right? And so we may ask, how can people not go into worry and anxiety over some of the things or situations that put others or themselves in harm's way? Well, there are serious things that happen in life that amp up our concern, but most overcare energy drain is about things and issues that often don't even matter that much. There's a study out of UCLA not too long ago. I think it was 2015. I'll have to check my sources. I'm pretty sure it's 2015. They studied, they took a group of 10,000 people, studied worry. And so took 10,000 people. What they found out on a mental level is the things we worry about 80% of the time never happen. This is never out of 10,000 people. So the 20%, 80% of that 20%, which leaves 15% of the time the things we worry about did happen, they found that it was a chance for growth, learning, or it wasn't as bad as we perceived it or generated that big scary picture to be. So the blended percentage, 80% and 80% of the time and 80% of the 20% blends out to be 97% of the time. Either it doesn't happen or it happens in a way that further helps us grow, becoming better versions of ourselves, or it's not even close to the way we created the story in our head. So that's a pretty large number for us to say, okay, worry is basically a waste of time, yet it's a buildable skill. So we are addicted to the habit of drama and overcare because that's what we've been conditioned to do. These are there are especially situations where managing our care would be effective. Overcare is a deeply imprinted human tendency that's handed down through each generation, right? It's our conditioning, kind of like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Where did our conditioning come from? Homework, yeah.
I work on that. Like I come from a long line of warriors.
Yeah.
It's just come along through the generation.
Right. But it is like a virus and it can only be cured through self-adjustment, right? We're not responsible for the programming or conditioning that we have currently. Our responsibility is to upgrade that programming, upgrade that conditioning, expand, become better on a daily basis. And the bottom line is others can't do it for us. There's no pill or a quick fix. However, we don't need one because overcare is nothing we can't handle with a little conscious focus along with our heart's commitment to practice. Observe yourself for a few days this week. We're gonna do the whole week. See how often you catch yourself in overcare. See how often that occupies your mind, shifts your focus, shifts your feelings regarding yourself, others, work, environment around you, what have you. But when you find yourself in worry, anxiety, or distress from overcare, what we're going to do is it's the quick coherence technique. So the quick coherence technique is when we find ourselves in this space of letting our mind wander into, holy cow, what happens if this happens and that goes wrong and this goes wrong or whatever. We're going to take a pause, we're going to take a break, and we're going to, through our heart area, heart-focused breathing, simply breathing in through our heart, imagining that the breath is flowing in and out of our heart area. The reason we do that is because where our attention goes, our energy flows. So that automatically takes our attention off the external environment, puts it on our internal environment. We're going to breathe either calm emotions like peace, calm, or ease. And then once we do that, we calm down our brainwave patterns. We calm down the neural synapses. And what happens with that is then the neural signals from the heart open up the mind to different possibilities. That's where we want to be. We want to be in the present moment. We want to be in possibility. Okay, now from this objective state, what decision could I effectively make right now to create better in this moment? Because I can't affect 5 minutes ago and I can't affect 5 minutes in the future. It's what can I do right now that will help my heart and my mind come up with higher intuitions to direct me to the best thing possible for me right now, right? The next step. As you practice, sometimes it doesn't work every time, it won't. But the more we practice, the more we teach our heart to calm our nervous system, calm our brain waves down, we can, every time we shift from, frustration worry, to peace and calm, there is a 1,400 biochemical, neurochemical, and neuropeptide shift in the body, right? It's not a slight shift. It starts the production of a high amount of energy. Conversely, when we go to peace to worry and overcare, that's also a 1,400 biochemical, neurochemical production, mainly cortisol and adrenaline. And what's the effect of over amounts of cortisol? Downregulation of cells, sickness, illness, and disease. That's why most, common day colds, everything like that, 95% of the time, you can trace it back to a week, 2 weeks ago, when you've been overstressed, over worrying, over caring about something at home, at work, what have you, major decisions. So approach this exercise with ease, not with force. With practice, you'll become more conscious of when you're overcaring. Often you can just stop it on the spot, bring your energy back to balance. Practicing this strengthens your nervous system. We start to create nervous system resilience, right? We start to create mental, emotional resilience, spiritual resilience, physical resilience. That's what we want to do. as a very, very simple exercise, yet most people on this call and that we work with, these exercises and these things that we suggest are very, very simple. They're overlooked by a lot of people outside of this call that, think it's hard to change. It's hard to recondition the heart and the mind. And it's really not. It's just basic reminders. That's why, if you're working on a specific attitude like gratitude or appreciation or care or love or joy, set those alarms in your phone, 9, 12, 3, and 6. When those alarms come up, heart focus breathe for 60 seconds to 2 minutes. Shift your focus. You'd be surprised at how much better your day will go by keeping yourself accountable and in check throughout the day. Remember, this mental health month, remember, I should have put that graph in here, that life is always going like this. Life is always increasing at 100% or more, meaning the oxidative stress in our environment is always increasing. So if life is going like this, and here's Kevin at 70%, will I eventually get buried by stress? Absolutely. Right? That will show up in anxiety, that will show up in depression, that will show up in over amounts of worry, that will show up, in sickness, illness, and disease. Stress is a major, major component. And right now, we just retested 78% of Americans feel that stress inhibits their mental health. Well, it does because, right, when we shift to stress, that shuts off that frontal cortex. That's our attention, intention, imagination, creation. So if we're running off the same neural patterns as the past, what are we going to get? More of the past. Can we predict the future? If you do the same things, 100% absolutely, right? We're a product of what we do on a daily basis. So as we look to increase our mental and emotional resilience in Mental Health Month, not only in May, but throughout the year, just remember that every morning is a new chance to be a better you. Every morning, first thing you do, don't grab your phone. Do something different every morning. Go jump in a cold shower first thing. You'll be surprised at the differences of your day. Do your meditations first thing before you grab your phone and get back into work and get back into stress. Do something different. Analyze your days at the end of the day. Hey, how was my behavior today? How did I interact with my family and coworkers? Okay, there's a couple times where I could have done better. All right, so tomorrow, the intention is to be 1% better than yesterday, right? So what do I need to tweak? That 1% is not very much. Well, I preach this at the gym every night. These kids come up and they're like, hey, dude, how do you lift so much or whatever it is? I'm like, look, progressive overload. That's the same thing as normal day life, right? Progressive overload, or we'll call it progressive expansion, means that if I allocated 16 minutes today towards, new habits, then tomorrow, all I got to do is another 16 seconds, right? It's not that much more. And so we just want to be able to, if I'm in the gym and I'm, curling with, let's say, 70-pound dumbbells, then 1% of that would be 7 pounds. So I just got to add a little more, right?
So then he just has to curl 77.
So then I just have to curl 77, not a big deal, right? Or on a flat bench, if I'm benching 225, it's 2.25 more pounds. Most people think that they can't do it, but if you think you can't, if you think you can't, you're right. If you think you can, you're right. So we just got to start shifting that open acceptance of mentality and emotionality through heart and brain coherence, saying, you know what is possible for me today? When you wake up, that is one of the greatest ambitious questions you can ask yourself. When we ask ourselves an ambitious question, it starts to open up different thought patterns. What is possible for me today? How can I be the best version of myself today? If you don't get flooded with answers, keep asking yourself, because they'll start showing up. Write them down. Start keeping yourself accountable. Start making sure that you're doing something different or something better on a daily basis. And again, it's not 0 to 100. It's 1%. James Clear is an amazing, intelligent human being. 1%, we've discussed it before. If you got a 37% increase at your pay at work, that would be an amazing increase and everyone would love that, right? If you got 37% more vacations, if you got 37% more time at the gym, I would love that, right? So 1% every day calculates that 37%. It's not that big a difference that separates the greatness, people that are great and people that are just going about life, right? How do we be great? We consistently be good. We can't get to greatness if we're not consistently good. So let's just make sure on a daily basis that we apply that 1%, allocate that 16 to 20 minutes every morning. And if you have a heart rate variability monitor, 2 people reached out this week, gave them my discount code. Those heart rate variability monitors are game changers. If you got, go ahead.
If you wash it in the washing machine, it still works.
And I have a very good relationship with Heart Math. Sometimes they'll cover that too if it stops working. So just let me know.
So far, it's okay.
But like we teach, the technology is also resilient. So that's good. But yeah, those heart rate variability monitors change the game. If you got a 4 score on your coherence today, then let's aim for 4.2 tomorrow. We don't want to go from 4 to 10, albeit that would be great, but it's about incremental improvements, right? Consistency will always win. So be consistently good. Make sure you're checking in with yourself several times during the day and say, where am I at? Well, crap, I'm kind of frustrated because I thought these things were going to go different. They went different than I thought. I got to adapt right now. Let's do some heart focused breathing out in your vehicle or, wherever you're at. If you're at work, go take a walk, go do some heart focused breathing for a minute, come back, refocus, readjust, refocus, and let's go, right? Let's start creating what we want to create, not just being subject to whatever our environment wants to dictate to us, because we all have the power within here to affect those around us in the best way possible. Right? That ripple effect, if you do one act of kindness a day, we show that it can reach up to 750,000 people. That's one. So look for opportunities throughout the day to compliment people, to tell somebody how grateful you are for them, to show appreciation, to show care, not over care, but to show kindness, right? Kindness is something we need a lot more of in this world that we live in right now. Be kind to somebody. If you see somebody struggling, offer a helping hand, say some, words of kindness.
And that'll be a good test too, to kind of evaluate that care and overcare, because if you do it and you end up getting frustrated or resentful that somebody didn't respond with a thank you or the appreciation you expected, that can be a really good barometer for you to kind of track too. During the meditation, we actually we're going to end on time tonight. I'm going to put some quick statements in the chat that you can utilize to kind of, as you pause, shift, and reset, when you've noticed you've crossed that line from care to overcare or from spirit to ego. And just a quick, I'm seeing this situation with clarity is kind of the stop and pause and go, okay, I went from care to worry. Worry's not going to be helpful here. So what do I need to see in this situation? I'm seeing things clearly. And you might notice that you're able to get a lot of insight in different situations where normally you would have spent a lot of energy expenditure in worry that really isn't really that helpful. So during this meditation, I'm going to be working on the pineal gland or pineal gland. That is that antenna to your intuition, your intellect, the insight and perception, to the way that you're seeing things. So you're seeing situations where you can show care, but you're also noticing where you go into overcare and into worry. And you'll be able to stop, pause, and shift and reset, so that I think you'll save yourself a lot of energy this week in doing that. It might take it's going to take some practice, because like all this that we work on, it's a skill. I think that it will be really insightful this week as we balance that out.
So. Yeah. One last thing before we start the meditation real quick. I say before but I will start the meditation. One thing that came up with one of my friends at the gym the other night, I do most of my philosophizing at the gym at night. So, but one thing that came up, young single dude, he's 21 years old, and he came up to me and he's like, hey man, how do I not be resentful at happy couples that I see? Because he really, very, very nice individual, has a heart of gold, but he really wants to be in a relationship. And I said, well, let me ask you this. If you see people that have something you want and you go into resentment, how fast do you think that something's going to show up that you're searching for? And he looked around and he goes, probably not very fast because I'm being negative about it. And I said, absolutely. So if you see something or someone that has something that you desire, we don't want to, comparison's the thief of joy, right? But at the end of the day, can you be grateful? Can you be appreciative and complimentary? And I said, the next couple you see that hits you and they look happy, go up to them and say, hey, I admire what you guys have. How did you get into a relationship? Or how do you make your relationship so good? I said, if you want to be what or have what other people have, go ask them how they do it. Right. And so he's like, oh, that's a good point. So the point is for all of us, like, let's take the ego out of it. Let's shift into heart. And when we see people that have nice things, can we go up to someone and say, hey, congratulations, I'm happy for you. Hey, good for you. You're excelling. I'm working on it right now too. Any tips or tricks you would, you can convey to me? It works like a charm. People that are there where you want to be are more than happy to help out, right? I mean, I'm helping people at the gym all the time. Do I think I'm the exact poster of fitness? No, but I think I work hard, right? I think I do my best, and I think I've learned some things along the way. So go outside of yourself, ask people questions, admire people,
Show people care.
So let's jump into meditation again. Very simple. We're going to turn off our camera. You can turn off yours so we're not staring at each other. I'll turn on the music. It's just going to be simple heart-focused breathing, heart-coherent meditation, where it's going to be a 5-second inhale through the nose, about a 7-second exhale through the mouth. I'll guide you right through it. And the whole point of this is to raise our vibration that the heart's magnetic field produces. Every time we get into heart-coherent meditation, the heart sends signals to the brain expands, and we imprint new neural pathways. The more we imprint those neural pathways, the more we become what those emotions are. So the whole point is to become better. The whole point is to become gratitude, be in a state of being of gratitude, of compassion, of care. So let me get this playing. All right, so let's set the intention tonight to let go of the overcare and simply become caring individuals. So let's close our eyes, on our hearts, and let's take a deep inhale through our nose, about 5 seconds. A deep exhale through the mouth, about 7 to 8 seconds. As we inhale again through the nose, about 5 seconds. Exhale through the mouth, about 7 to 8 seconds. Let's focus our attention and our awareness in the area of our hearts. Let's imagine that as we keep breathing, that our breath is flowing in and out of our heart or chest area, breathing a little slower and deeper than usual. The deeper we breathe, the more we modulate our heart rhythm. The more we modulate our heart rhythm, the more we increase our heart rate variability. As we increase our heart rate variability, those neural signals sent to the brain open up our higher brain centers, responsible for creation, imagination, attention, imagination, intention. So let's take a moment right now and let's let go, as we've talked about overcare and worry tonight. Let's let go of the worries that may be plaguing us right now. Let's let go of the worries about home life, work life, things that are coming up in the future, things from the past. Let's completely disconnect from those worries right now. And as we continue to breathe through our hearts, bring ourselves to this present moment. And now let's make a sincere attempt to activate an elevated heart-focused emotion of care, compassion, appreciation, or gratitude for someone, some place, or something in your life. A loved one, a pet, a recent event in your life that can allow your heart to feel care, compassion, appreciation, or kindness. As we do this, we calm the body down, we calm the nervous system down. Let's radiate these elevated emotions. Firstly, to ourselves, let's flood our cells with these elevated emotions. As we teach our body through emotional response, the body starts to learn that these moments when we are in peace and in gratitude and in care, this is who we are trying to become. This is who we want to become. The more we rehearse feeling gratitude, care, and kindness, the more we become gratitude, care, and kindness. Let's now radiate those emotions out through our heart's magnetic field into the field that surrounds us. Let's send the people that surround you, the people in your homes, the people where you're at, the people you care for, the people you work with. Let's radiate that gratitude, that care, that kindness for all of the opportunities we have to communicate with, spend time with, and learn and grow from the people that support us, the people that have our backs, the people that help us become better versions of ourselves. Radiate these emotions out to them. And our heart and brain are in perfect communication. This is the perfect moment now to envision the people we want to become. What does that greatest version of you look like? Does that greatest version of you look like someone who is always smiling, someone who is always helping, someone who is always full of energy, who is always grateful, that sees the good in all situations, that perpetuates good in all situations? Imagine yourselves walking into situations tomorrow, walking into stores, into meetings, into interactions with those around you as a bright light that is helping others to find their light. That is allowing your heart energy to communicate and interact with their heart energy. Lifting ourselves up, increasing our energy, in turn, lifting others up and increasing their energy. As we do this, as we rehearse, that's the process of envisioning. That's why envisioning is so powerful. As we rehearse, envisioning ourselves walking around with big smiles, walking around with shoulders back, good, energetic posture. As we rehearse ourselves being kind to those around us, being grateful for all that we have, all that was taught to us from the past, all the lessons we've learned from the past, the current things we have in the present moment, all of the simplicities and all of the beauties that exist in each one of our lives. And we apply gratitude into the possibilities in the future. What are those possibilities and potentials that God and universe have for each one of us? We start to rehearse this gratitude. We become gratitude. As we become grateful people, that is the key to life, is to become so grateful that you enjoy all moments of every day, that you are present, enjoying these moments. And what that brings is unlimited possibility and unlimited abundance. If you're searching for more in life, if you're searching for extra finances, if you're searching for extra improvement in relationships, if you're searching for opportunities to become better, all of that lies within your heart. All of that lies within the states of gratitude and love. For as you increase your capacities to be grateful, as you increase your capacities for love for self, the capacities that you will increase to allow new circumstances, new possibilities, and new potentials that will add more gratitude, more love, and more joy to your life. Will start to show up in the greatest ways possible. Remember, be good to yourselves. As we are good to ourselves, we will perpetuate that good to others. Let's take one last deep inhale through our heart, where all creation happens. As you exhale, radiate that goodness out. Radiate that desire to become better, that desire to do better, and that desire to be better. When you slowly open your eyes and come back, Go ahead and throw in the chat how you're feeling right now.
I had a little bit of technical difficulties on the music there. Sorry about that.
Yeah, if that stopped, I apologize.
Awesome.
A lot of gratitude. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Awesome. Ooh, light, enlightened, grateful. Great. Great. Well, thank you all for being with us tonight. Felt your heart energies tonight. Carry this into tonight. Carry this into your relationships with those you're around tonight. Wake up tomorrow with new purpose, with new intention, right? Remember, we don't climb mountains by accident. We climb mountains intentionally. So set that intention tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Have a great week. Pay attention again. Homework this week. Nothing you're really going to write down unless you want to journal about it. But pay attention. How often through the days you're shifting from care to overcare? What are you worrying about? Is that worry going to solve any problems, or are you burning energy and are you exhausted at the end of the day? So pay attention to that tonight, and we'll rejoin next week, and we will keep progressing and keep expanding. Love you all. Have a great night, great week.
Night, guys.